When we lived in Kentucky, they had, in the fall, they had what they call turkey shoots, you know, because everybody got turkey for Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
And you didn't really shoot the turkey, but you shot things.
Oh, gotcha. So it was a competition in which you shot at something, and if you won, you got turkeys.
Yes, or ducks, or chickens, or whatever, you know. I don't remember any geese, but we had ducks and turkeys and chickens from there. We lived in an old house in when we first lived in Fort Knox, and there had a chicken coop with several pens, you know. We even had rabbits, but we brought those from Texas with us.
Well, so did your dad do the shooting?
My sister and brother-in-law.
All right. Both of them, your sister as well.
My sister Joe and my sister Mary's husband.
Both did the shooting for the
for the food.
Yeah. What kind of thing was it? Like at a range? Go, or did you ever go watch?
I don't know. I didn't ever go.
You never go.
I didn't go a whole lot. I was the next to youngest in the family of 7 kids. So I don't. Except once in a while we went to the dump with Dad.
Did you enjoy looking through the piles of
stuff?
stuff?
There were blackberry bushes out there, and we went and picked blackberries. Mom she made blackberry wine, blackberry jelly, blackberry. Pop made home brew, what do you call it? This is during Prohibition. Mom made wine out of dandelions.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. How do you even do that?
Pretty yellow, blackberries and grapes. My sister and Charlie were getting married in June. Going to be married in July, June or July. Well, I guess it was July. Because her birthday was in June, yeah. And they're going to have this reception. You know, Mom was. Back in those days, you didn't have big hoopla receptions and pay for it. You know, it's like that salt. That salt's left in there, just salt with butter. You have to scald that pan, huh? It was. Kentucky was there's a lot of different things to do. We lived up in the hills. We weren't quite in the mountains. Because we were only 32 miles from Louisville, which is the biggest city in Kentucky.
So you actually lived out in the sticks a little bit, though.
Well, we lived on Army Post.
Oh, so yeah, all right, that was on Army Post.
Yes, Fort Knox.
So there were lots of people there. Oh, that was Fort Knox.
The biggest. Was the biggest. It's. And then we lived right after that. We lived in Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, which is the biggest two biggest Army forts then. Fort Benning, Georgia, got bigger after.
So even though it was a ways out of the city, it was still basically a city because there's so many people running around for the Army.
Well, our classes in in school, grade school, were two class. You know, we were 5th and 6th grade together. 3rd and 4th, 1st and 2nd, stuff like that.
Sure.
So there weren't, that many. We probably had 15 kids in the room. 15, maybe 20.
And only one room per class? Like, so there's that many?
One teacher teaches for 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, right. And then there's only one class of each of those. So there's one room of...
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
One room for 2 classes.
Yeah,
two
right.
Grades.
Right. And only one of those going on at once.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And we had, we were in an old Army barracks, God, what do you call them? The board and batten. They weren't tar paper and batten, Tar paper with batten. Battens are strips of wood covering, every so often.
Okay.
Huh?
The cracks.
Over the crack?
Crack between the boards.
Over in Hawaii, the house we lived in was, a part of it was board and batten. A part that, the 2-bedroom, the end of the house that had 2 bedrooms, my brother and the girls' room. and we had board and batten walls, and and there was a the batten was all one, and there was a string line about a quarter of an inch wide. It's just a good thing it was Hawaii, and it wasn't.
Yeah. Some are cold.
Oh, it did rain there, but it didn't rain from that side.
Oh yeah, that's probably good too.
And when Jim and I went to Hawaii, we went to Schofield Barracks.
Uh-huh.
They let us go in, you know. I lived here back in 1936 to 38.
Yep.
And
Went to school at the school that's right over there.
Leilahua. It is not called Leilahua. It's just it's on. In fact, it's on the air base, Wheeler Field. Wheeler Field was just part of this Wheeler Air Force Base now.
All right.
And the school was right next to it, and they incorporated it into it belonged to Wheeler Field.
Right, and it didn't when you were there, but
No,
they did
no,
afterwards.
It was a public school. It was called Leilahua. Well, Leilahua moved back to Wahiawa. This town was, you know, I suppose it's a mile away. It might not be that far. I don't remember that it was that far, but
Sure.
anyway. They told us a little late. We were just roaming around out there. Well, actually, we were just standing, weren't we, in between a couple of buildings. And this lady finally came out and asked. I told her that I went to school. What is called Leilahua School.
Yeah.
She said that's in Wahiawa now. And I said I went to the 7th and 8th grades here.
Yeah.
Back in 1936 to 38. And she said, you know, we've been wondering just how old these buildings are. And I said, you know what? They look just the same age as they did when I was here in 1936 and 38. And I said, and I sort of thought that they probably dated from right after World War II.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like 1920.
Sure.
Or something like that. I said, because they look just exactly the same now. Outside, we didn't go in.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, a whole bunch of buildings. There was the main building where they had the auditorium and the office and the gymnasium and the, you know, all that stuff, showers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was that one right next to where we were standing, Jim, the west of where we were standing, and the high school was on the other side of that, and the junior high was over on this side, and the grade school was on that side.
There's a lot of buildings.
Yeah, there were, and then there were other buildings back here, and the athletic fields were out there.
It must have been a lot bigger classes than at the other place.
Well, yeah, because it wasn't just for Army people. It was, you know, outside the base.
Right.
Outside school.
Right.
I keep calling it base, but it's barracks. And so they were the kids from, you know.
Well,
the
yeah,
good
sure.
Kids, Wahiawa.
Sure. I just didn't know how big it'd be. What are you barking at, doggy?
I think I was waving my hand around.
So, all right, are you set up with the camera?
No, I was recording Granny talking about that.